Hi, welcome to Loft 801. My name is Diego, and today I'm talking about The Damned. Directed by Thordur Palsson, it was released today on January 3rd, 2025. Set against the harsh backdrop of 19th century Iceland, the film stars Odessa Young as Eva. She is a widow in a fishing community that is struggling to ward off otherworldly forces after making the decision to not save the sailors of a nearby shipwreck. Now, before I hop into my review, if you want to support the channel, then please take a second to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Thank you, I really appreciate it. As a warning, this review will contain some spoilers, so please continue at your own risk. Lastly, if you want to see anything reviewed, don't forget to let me know by leaving a comment and I will do my best to get to it. Thank you, I'm hopping in 3, 2, 1. Like I said, Eva is a widow in a fishing community. She inherited a fishing boat from her late husband and works with his old peers in an unforgiving environment. Winter in Iceland is no joke. The fishermen haven't caught any fish in days, and they are at the point where they have no food left and they are eating the bait. Just as the men are about to set off one day, they spy a shipwreck in the distance. The men are split about rowing out to save the sailors. Because of their lack of resources, Eva decides to not endanger the fishermen and let the sailors drown. Throughout the remainder of the film, the fishermen are besieged by a malevolent entity, a draugr. For a movie that is less than 90 minutes, I had a blast with this story. The central theme revolves around guilt. The fishermen experience survivors' guilt, including distress, tension, and anxiety. The washed up bodies of drowned sailors doesn't help. Even after laying these bodies to rest, the fishermen still feel remorseful about the event that was partially out of their control. When they finally catch fish and it's stolen, they are terrified. They experience paranoia and fear, especially as they start to see shadows and figures around the community. The line between reality and the supernatural gets even more blurred as some of the men get violently sick, maybe even possessed. I saw this movie last night with my girlfriend and she loved it. She's normally not an oh my god, this is scary kind of girl, but this movie had her jumping at everything and gripping my arm. There are some jump scares in this movie, but they feel earned. They don't feel cheesy or cliche. What really drives a lot of the tension and the horror is the soundtrack and sound design. Stefan McKeon put together a haunting score for The Damned. It blends traditional instruments with the film's psychological horror. The ambient sounds are also perfectly integrated. The howling wind, creaking wooden structures, and distant, unidentifiable noises. They all contribute to the sense of unease and make the supernatural occurrences feel real. In scenes when characters are alone, the use of subtle sounds such as footsteps on snow, the rustling of clothes, or even squelching noises heighten the tension. The sound design is incredibly immersive. Speaking of immersion, I love the harsh recreation of the Icelandic fishing outpost. The practical effects and the period-accurate props are immersive. The communal living spaces are dimly lit, cluttered, and everything feels weather-worn. It's very fitting, given the harsh and cold environment. Cinematographer Eli Aronson beautifully captures the bleak beauty of the Icelandic landscape. The use of natural light enhances the film's natural tension. Things look and feel desolate. The snow-covered terrain isn't just a backdrop, but a reflection of the isolation and desperation of the outpost. The use of wide shots lets you truly feel how vast the environment is. They contrast perfectly with the close-ups of the characters' emotional states. The characters were all fantastic. I wasn't too sure about Odessa Young at first. I was worried that she would girl boss this movie, but she came through and delivered a great performance as Eva. She captured her character's struggle with leadership, grief, and moral conflict. She cares about the fishermen, but as paranoia spreads, it's hard to keep everyone alive and well. I admire that the remainder of the cast looked, sounded, and felt like they belonged in the fishing outpost. From Helga, the seasoned tavern keeper of sorts, to Ragnar, the burly veteran fisherman, or even the super religious Jonas. The supporting cast was fantastic, and I felt like every character got the perfect amount of screen time to make you root for them and understand their fears. My only complaint with this movie is the draugr design. It looked more like Sinister's Bagul than the traditional depictions of Nordic draugrs. I think a more authentic looking draugr would have amplified the horror much more, or at least felt more in line with the incredible production design. While Bagul looked creepy, he's not a very fitting depiction for this movie because he feels like modern horror and not period horror. I'm not too mad about this depiction because it allowed for incredible sound design, but I think it's a missed opportunity. Anyways, I have a huge soft spot for period pieces, especially period horror. In many ways, this movie reminded me of The Witch or even last year's Out of Darkness. I think it's hard to make an immersive movie, so when something like The Damned can do that, I'm hooked. And not just that, but again, this movie was less than 90 minutes long and felt perfectly paced. I love long movies, but we have a shortage of good 90 minutes or less movies, so I'm happy The Damned is one of them. Plus, it's girlfriend approved. The Damned was a great horror film that wonderfully combines psychological and supernatural horror with the stark realities of survival in a 19th century Icelandic fishing outpost. With its immersive setting, stellar performances, and gripping score, it delivers a chilling experience. My girlfriend had her claws in my arm. Odessa Young is great as Eva, torn between leadership and guilt. The supporting cast add depth and authenticity, making each character memorable. The breathtaking cinematography and meticulous production design transport you to the desolate Icelandic landscape, making the isolation and dread feel tangible. At under 90 minutes, the film's pacing is tight and effective, packing a punch without overstaying its welcome. My only complaint is the draugr design, but the rest of the movie makes up for it. So, if you're a fan of period horror or are just looking for a thrilling movie experience, The Damned is a great movie to start off your year. It's a testament to how effective concise filmmaking can be. Plus, it's girlfriend approved, so support this movie however you can. Thank you for listening to my review of The Damned. If you enjoyed the content, leave a like and hit subscribe. If you did not enjoy the content, thank you for sticking around. As always, I would love to read what you have to say, so leave a comment and let me know what you're thinking. Also, if there's something you want to see reviewed, don't forget to let me know and I will do my best to get to it. Lastly, if you want to see some more from me, then you can check out my vlogs linked up above or my podcast Good Friends. Again, thank you for watching. My name is Diego and I will see you next time.